If you're over 60, there's a good chance you reach for a small handful of nuts now and then, maybe with morning coffee, maybe while watching television at night, simply because they taste good and you've heard that nuts are healthy. But have you ever stopped to ask which nuts are quietly helping your bones, your balance, and your memory, and which might be chipping away at them day after day? It can be hard to believe that something so tiny could decide whether your knees sag on the stairs, whether your blood pressure spikes after dinner, or whether you keep your sharp recall of a grandchild's birthday. Yet that is exactly what emerging nutrition research shows. The fats, anti-nutrients, and hidden toxins inside different nuts can either protect aging joints, muscles, and neurons, or undermine them in ways you barely notice until one morning you stand up and your legs feel hollow. Today we'll lift the curtain on 3 nuts seniors should treat like landmines: peanuts, cashews, and pine nuts, and then we'll shine a light on 3 that act more like trusted physical therapists, working quietly in the background: almonds, walnuts, and pistachios. At the very end, I'll hand you a quick, little-known shopping test that helps you choose the safest bag every time, even if you have no nutrition training at all. Stick with me, because swapping out just one daily snack could mean more stable steps, steadier blood pressure, and a clearer mind 6 months from now. Let's begin with the nut that isn't technically a nut at all, the peanut. Because peanuts grow underground, they're continually exposed to warm, humid soil, perfect breeding grounds for a fungus that produces aflatoxin, an invisible poison the World Health Organization classifies as a top-tier carcinogen. When you're 25, a healthy liver can usually filter out a trace amount of aflatoxin without much fuss. By 65, your detox pathways have slowed, so even a few contaminated kernels each week can build up, stressing liver cells, nudging your immune system off balance, and fueling silent inflammation that gnaws at cartilage and artery walls. Add the fact that peanuts deliver a heavy load of omega-6 fats, pro-inflammatory, when they massively outnumber omega-3s, and you have a crunchy recipe for creaky joints, tighter blood vessels, and the low-grade swelling that drains daily energy. Many seniors also take a blood thinner such as warfarin. Peanuts supply vitamin K, the very nutrient that can blunt those drugs, swinging you toward unexpected clotting or, on the flip side, uncontrolled bruising. And no, switching to commercial peanut butter doesn't fix the problem. The jars usually stir in hydrogenated oils and extra salt, turning an inflammation spark into a bonfire. Bottom line, if peanuts are your default snack, it's time to show them the exit. Next, under the microscope, comes the glossy, luxuriously curved cashew. What could be wrong with that silky bite? 2 stealth issues. First, cashews carry a hefty dose of natural oxalates, the same compounds that team up with calcium in your gut and escort it straight out of the body instead of into your skeleton. Over years, that calcium detour can thin hip bones and vertebrae, leaving you one slip away from a fracture that steals your independence for months. Oxalates also love to crystallize in kidneys, triggering stones that feel like shards of glass moving through your back. A surgery-level ordeal for anyone, let alone someone in their 70s. Second, cashews land surprisingly high on the glycemic scale. They can spike blood sugar faster than you'd guess, which is bad news if you're juggling pre-diabetes or diabetes. Repeated sugar surges hammer the tiny capillaries in feet and lower legs, setting the stage for neuropathy, slow healing, sores, and ultimately, trouble sensing the ground beneath you. Add a sticky texture that challenges weak molars or dry mouth, and cashews present more risk than reward in later life. Pine nuts, those petite ivory kernels that give pesto its silky body, come next. The first hidden hazard is pine mouth, a metallic aftertaste that can linger a week, blunting appetite and, especially for older adults, leading to skipped meals and unwanted weight loss. More troubling, pine nuts contain compounds that tie up liver enzymes needed to break down common prescriptions. That means your blood pressure pill, antidepressant, or statin could hover in your bloodstream too long, dropping your pressure suddenly or sending your heart rate into chaos. Pine nuts also rank among the most oxidation-prone nuts. Once the delicate fats go rancid, they shower your bloodstream with free radicals that chip away at memory centers and slow reaction time. Finally, their slick oval shape is exactly the size that can slip into the windpipe of someone whose swallowing reflex has slowed. A wrong inhale during dinner could turn a pleasant meal into an emergency. So all told, pine nuts are better left on fancy restaurant menus than in a senior's pantry. Now that we've surveyed the troublemakers, let's shift to the heavy lifters, nuts that quietly shore up bones, feed muscles, and keep neurons firing crisply. First in line are almonds, the humble teardrop-shaped seeds most of us ate as kids. Every ounce of almonds supplies a dual mineral team, about as much calcium as a splash of milk, plus a generous hit of magnesium, the mineral dispatcher that ferries that calcium into bone lattice instead of letting it clog arteries. Magnesium also relaxes blood vessels, helping pressure ease downward without medication side effects. Add 21 grams of plant protein per 100 grams of almonds, and you've got raw material to refill shrinking muscle fibers, critical because muscle mass is the engine that prevents falls. Almond skins brim with flavonoids and vitamin E, antioxidants that guard nerve ends, and memory circuits from oxidative rust. They even deliver soluble fiber that keeps digestion smooth, so you absorb those minerals instead of flushing them. 10 to 15 raw unsalted almonds with breakfast create a scaffold you can actually feel weeks later when you climb stairs with less knee protest. Where almonds fortify the frame, walnuts take aim at the command center, your brain. Their rare plant-based omega-3, ALA, keeps the membranes of brain cells stretchy, so signals zip across synapses instead of stalling. Polyphenols in the walnut's paper-thin skin slip through the blood-brain barrier and mop up free radicals before they scar memory circuits. Research teams at UCLA found seniors who ate a small handful of walnuts 5 times a week scored significantly higher on cognitive tests than those who didn't. Walnuts also supply arginine, which converts into nitric oxide, nature's vessel. Relaxer, delivering oxygen not just to the hippocampus but also to calf muscles, keeping your morning walks brisk rather than breathless. Toss 3 shelled halves into oatmeal or yogurt, or crunch them after dinner instead of cookies, and you're basically giving your neurons premium motor oil. Finally, pistachios, the cheerful split-shell nuts that look like they're smiling. Under that smile sits a treasure of potassium, more per gram than even bananas. Potassium escorts excess sodium out of cells, easing pressure on artery walls and reducing stroke risk, which climbs steeply after 60. These green gems also carry lutein and zeaxanthin, pigments that settle in the macula of the eye, shielding it from blue light damage and supporting the depth perception you need to avoid misjudging a curb. Their mild crunch and need-to-peel shell naturally slow eating, so you're less likely to oversnack. And the shelling motion itself exercises fine motor skills. Think of it as stealth physical therapy for hand strength. About 30 kernels, roughly 1 ounce, mid-afternoon stabilizes blood sugar, cues the brain that you're satisfied and lifts mood thanks to a whisper of B vitamins. So, how do you translate all this into a simple habit rather than a nutrition lecture? Here's a back-of-the-envelope plan. Buy 1 small mason jar for each of the 3 guardian nuts. Label them Monday, Wednesday, Friday for almonds, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday for walnuts, Sunday for pistachios. Fill each jar with the amount you intend to eat. No guesswork. Place the jars near the coffee maker or the fruit bowl, someplace you look every morning. When the day's jar is empty, you're done. When it isn't, the visual reminder nudges you. As for the risky trio, clear them out of easy reach or donate sealed bags to younger family members whose biology can buffer the downsides better. That small environment tweak means the default snack supports your bones and mind, not erodes them. Before we wrap up, here's the promised safe nut shopping test. When you pick up any bag or bulk bin scoop, check 3 things: processing, additives, and storage date. First, processing. Choose raw or dry roasted over oil roasted. High heat. Oils oxidize nut fats quickly. Second, additives. Skip anything with added salt, sugar, or hydrogenated oils. Your blood pressure, joints, and liver will thank you. Third, freshness. Nuts sit. Their fats oxidize. Make sure your package shows a harvest or best by date within the last 9 months, and store them in the fridge at home if you won't finish them in a month. Remember, better health after 60 isn't about overhauling your entire diet overnight. It's about these quiet, repeatable choices that reinforce strong bones agile muscles, and clear thoughts. Swap the peanuts, cashews, and pine nuts for measured portions of almonds, walnuts, and pistachios. Give your body the minerals, healthy fats, and antioxidants it's quietly asking for. 6 months from now, the difference might not shout. It might simply reveal itself in the way you stand up from a chair without a groan, the way you remember a phone number without searching, or the beat of a heart that feels steady and untroubled. That's a victory worth a handful of the right nuts every day.